Hello, welcome again to another edition of the Career Advice Series. My name is Jimi Tewe, your career coach, and it really is my pleasure to have you here once again today. It's a Monday. I'm sure you're excited about it. You're probably on your way to work or you're already at work watching this. I'm quite excited about what we're going to be talking about today. In case this is your first time watching the Career Advice Series, it's a weekly broadcast that we put out just there on YouTube to enable working professionals and even business owners maximize their career experience by identifying unique challenges that people face and then providing professional solutions in that regard. And so that's what we do week after week. I want to thank everyone that sent a mail this week. I got quite a bit of mails. I'm still responding to them. So if I've not gotten back to you, please let me know that I'm sure that I'm going to get back to you as soon as possible. I'm going to make out some time and I'm going to get back to you. But thank you to everyone that sent mail in to us. In case you're having a challenge you'd like us to help, just send me a mail. My email is on the screen right now, me@jimitewe.org, and I'm able to now identify the challenges people face, and we're able to now provide solutions in that regard. Last week we began to speak about transition solutions, basically about for those that have thought about, I'm tired of the job I'm doing, I want to move to a job that I love. Jimmy, what exactly do I need to do? And I think that certain factors, even in the economy today in Nigeria, makes it a lot more, apparent to some people that they need to do something they can no longer manage. I know people that used to manage before, but right now there's no job, to manage that different people. And I'm not saying that everybody hates their job. Even those that love their jobs, there are a lot of things going on right now in the economy that you can no longer just say to yourself that I'm just going to go to work and come back. There's a lot going on you must be aware of. And today, what I really want to take you through is basically some statistics, that the National Bureau of Statistics released concerning Nigeria, and to enable you know what you need to do, particularly for those that are thinking about transiting. Either you want to move upwards in your career, or you want to change career paths, or you want to say, I want to leave a job and I want to start a business. There's certain things you need to know. And so the MBS released statistics that was this last week on Thursday, that was Wednesday, actually saying that unemployment in this second quarter of 2016 has risen. I think it's about 13.1% right now, meaning about 1.54 million people became either unemployed or underemployed. As of today, the statistics shows that 49.5% of Nigerians that are employable between the age of 15 to 24 and about to 35 are actually under either unemployed or underemployed. And what that means essentially is this: that people want to work, but there's no work available for them to work. And those that are even working, some of them are working below the capacity that they can actually work. Now, I'm not trying to make you scared and all that. I'm just trying to let you understand, and this is part of what it takes to be successful in business or successful as a career person. You must understand what is going on in your macro environment and know how to align in that regard. Interestingly, from the statistics, there was a bit of growth around industries, around mining and a few other areas, and then also agriculture significantly. That actually might also be attributed to something about climate. This rainy season, so you're going to have a lot more planting in that regard, and then we're getting into dry season, and so you might have a shift in crops, maybe a drop in employment. But nonetheless, where I'm going to with is this: things are changing in Nigeria. In case you're not in Nigeria and watching this, please stay tuned. They're going to learn a lot more from what we're sharing, all right? And the thing to do in this situation is not to panic. Again, when the plane is in turbulence, the first thing the pilot will tell you is not to panic. Somebody is saying, I don't want them to sack me, let me sack myself, all right? That's the wrongest move to make, all right? That's not good. That's not the right thing to do at this point in time. You need to be very strategic, and that's why last week I was talking about, if you have not watched it, go back and watch the broadcast from last week. I began to speak about the fact that it's important that you pursue transition and not just a change. Now, is it tautology? No. What I'm saying is, you don't just wake up tomorrow and say, I'm going to do something radical, I'm going to start my business tomorrow. Lots of people do that, and then they regret it along the way, not because they did the wrong thing, but they did it wrongly or they did it at the wrong time. All right, so what I want to do in the few weeks that we have is begin to help people to understand how to transit. So let me again focus on the macroeconomics of Nigeria. So we know that oil, the price of oil fell below $5 per barrel, as of today, and that means that projections for even 2017 budget and all that is still about $60 to $80, hoping that it's going to rise again. Well, hopefully, or whether I don't know it's going to rise, but the truth about it is that it's still going to be alive, it's still going to be working in this country. what are you going to do in that regard? You need to be able to understand and assess. That's what you need to do. Assess where you are, within your organization, and also the relevance of the organization. Certain organizations are making more money in Nigeria today. For example, I met somebody who's into security right now because of the issues around Boko Haram, Niger Delta Avengers, and many other people and all that. Security is actually hiring a lot more people and all that, and people are actually migrating into that area. Agriculture is another area where the value chain for agriculture, a lot of people are getting in. So from production all the way to processing, transportation, exportation, and all that. And all of this, we are going to need skills, transferable skills, accounting skills, human resource skills. And so don't just close your mind and say, I want to work on Marina in Lagos, I want to work in Abuja. There are people that are making money in Nassau right now, probably earning more than those that are in Lagos, right? So you want to make sure that you are able to see where exactly the skills you have are relevant. Something else you need to do and consider is to reskill yourself. What that means, sometimes you realize that the skills you had was relevant at the time, but in the reality of the new economy, those skills might not attract as much value as they used to before. So what you want to do is you want to reskill yourself, identify the skills that are in demand or will be in demand, and go ahead and get those skills. Think about it. Mark Zuckerberg was in Lagos last week, and for him to come all the way to see your Facebook, it means that technology is going to grow in Nigeria. That's the reality about it. It's not going to. I hope you know that every visit he makes is probably for an investment, okay? And so he's around. I think he's left now, right? Yes, he's left. But the truth about it is that technology is going to grow. So that space also, you want to begin to think about it. The government has said, for example, that a lot of the foreign-based software that they use for their programs have to be replaced by locally developed programs. That gives room for people to decide to say they want to come in and from that angle. Thinking about it again, last week the government said that they're going to increase borrowing about 40%. I'm not so happy about that, but hey, that's what they said to do, okay? And hopefully there's going to be investment. Which areas are they going to invest? Usually what they're going to do is that the money will be pumped into certain sectors, basically to stimulate the economy. The money pumped in those sectors means that employment, opportunities for employment will actually spring up in those areas. So you can't just sit down and just say, I'm going to work and coming back. You must be very aware. In fact, one of the things I say about the 7-star worker is that he's very aware about this economy, aware about this industry, and aware about this organization, what is going on. You must not just be only aware about your technical function, but you must be aware of the macro economy where your role operates in, okay? So you want to make sure that, that if you're thinking about running a business, for example, the truth about it is that certain businesses, you cannot really do them today comparable to last year. For example, your business is dollarized, okay? In other words, you're going to have to, your input for your business requires dollars and all that. This might not be the best time for you to go into that because again, we don't know where the dollar, is going to rest in terms of the exchange rate and all that. So it might be too costly to run the business at this point in time. So you might want to think about, maybe starting in the small scale or starting later or looking for other alternatives. I like to encourage people, for example, that you need to think about things that can be consumed locally within Nigeria and producing them. I'm just coming from an event, in recording this, where some people are making clothes, different things are going on, and all of that is feeding the local market, and that way they're able to generate revenue. So you need to become very proactive, and that's what I'm really saying, and that's what I want to emphasize today, that you can no longer just sit on laurels and say, hey, well, let's see how it goes. No, they said that there are those that make things happen, there are those that watch things happen, and there are those that wonder what happened. Unfortunately, 97% or so of that category, those that wonder what happened, but those that make things happen are the ones that actually control the economy, right? So you want to be aware of what is going on and see how you can then position yourself in that regard. So business owners, you want to think about, what areas, for example, because of certain things going on in the economy, some locations might not be as lucrative as they were before. So for example, you had a lot more government contracts in Abuja. Kids are working from Abuja and all that. Well, a lot of that. So we had, I call them pseudo companies that run basically based on government projects. Right now the government is very, they're running stringent budgets, and so there's no free money as it were like before. Therefore, you might want to think about doing business. You might be living in Abuja or wherever, but you might think about doing business in a place where it's more lucrative. These are the kind of adjustments you need to make in that regard. Okay, within the organization also, I've already said this, look for the relevance of the function. Again, not every role will be laid off. Not everybody that is in any role will be laid off. Certain roles are more relevant to the strategic direction of the organization, and so those roles will be retained. Again, you need to understand, if you are not the owner of your business, understand what the business is doing and see how you can align yourself and position yourself. Being afraid is a waste of time. That's what I tell people, right? Why are you being afraid? Go and get the information you need that will reduce your fear and increase your awareness so you can know how to maximize opportunities. I can say this to you, as much as there seems to be a lot of turmoil around, there are also opportunities out here in Nigeria today, and really and truly all over the world, in Africa, across the world, even all over the world, right? So you want to think about what you can do in that regard. So, I mean, as you go into the week, it's still a Monday. I want you to sit down to do an assessment. That's what I've said today, right? Do an assessment of your role in the organization that you work with, and do an assessment to ensure that what you're doing is relevant, and estimate the degree of relevance, and then when you need to make the adjustment, reskill yourself. All right. I'm reading books now because I find out that there's certain demands for my time for some things that I didn't even pay attention to before, but in this economy it's become relevant, so I therefore have to focus on that in this regard. Okay, so that's what I have to say for today. Again, it's a series. I'm going to continue about the transition series next week. You don't want to miss what I'm going to talk about next week. All right, it's going to be awesome. But while the week lasts, still the first day of working day of the week, make the most of every single moment of this week. All right. Again, if you have questions you'd like me to answer, please send me a mail. The email is me@jimitewe.org. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can always get an alert once we post. There are other videos that we post over and above this weekly video. So I want to ask that you go to the YouTube channel, and that way you're able to subscribe, and you can always get up-to-date information about what will enable you become an outstanding working professional or business owner. All right. I got to go now because you have to work. Do have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week, and I look forward to hearing from you. Do have a wonderful week. Bye.